no, 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 no.
Hello guys, ScratchPatch is here. I wasn't posting tutorials for a while, was I? So I decided to fix this. Starting from today, I will post a new tutorial every month. Yep, every single month I will do a new interesting tutorial for you, my dear viewers. Alright, now with that in mind, let's start. In today's tutorial, we will create an operating system detector in Scratch 3.0. So, for example, you can detect if a user has a Windows PC or an Apple, Mac or iPhone. It also works for Android and Samsung phones. Here, I'm using my laptop running Windows 10, and as you can see, it tells me that I'm using Windows. However, if I run the same project on my Android phone, it says that I'm either using Android or Chromebook. And if I run it on an iPhone that I borrowed from a friend, it says macOS or iOS, as you can see. It can also detect Samsung products specifically. Cool! So let's start making the project. Now you might ask, how is this possible, since Scratch is running identically on every operating system, right? Well, not quite. There are a few differences, and in this tutorial we're going to use the main one, the emojis. See, in Scratch 3.0, you can now put emojis in the text in some costume, which was previously impossible in 2.0. But, as you probably know, emojis are different on different operating systems, Windows, Mac, Android, etc. So we can use that trick to detect which operating system you are using. Alright, for this trick, let's create a new sprite. Maybe call it emoji or something. Then, go into the Costume tab and select the text button in the menu on the left to the drawing canvas. You can then put some emojis into that text. To do that on Windows, I press Windows and period. Now, the emoji you choose needs to be different colors on different systems. I'm gonna use this coat emoji, which you can use as well. It's dark gray on Windows, light brown on Mac, and blue on Android. Also, I suggest placing some other shape somewhere else in the corner of the costume, cause for some reason iOS doesn't display costume with emojis only. After you're done, scale the text a bit and switch to the Code tab. The next thing we need to do is to move the sprite somewhere to the corner. That's not important though. Okay, let's now create a new sprite that will actually detect the color of the emoji by hovering over that cat button and then pressing on a pen icon. After that, go to the Costumes tab and draw something not quite small but also not quite big. I'm gonna go with this black square. Again, position it on the right spot so it would overlap your first sprite. Now comes the interesting part. Let's create a new variable which will tell us what operating system you use. I'm gonna call it operating system, but you can call it whatever you'd like to. Then create a new script that will run every time we press green flag. So I'm gonna drag the Go To script in the Motion tab, so it will always be in that specific position, even if you accidentally move it in the stage. Then I'm gonna drag the if-else statement, so it check for the colors of the emoji. So in my case, I'm using the coat emoji, and since I'm using Windows, it's dark gray. So what I'm gonna do is drag the touching color block, and then hover over the color picker icon in the bottom of the dialog. And then I'm gonna put my cursor over that dark gray part and click. Now as you can see, it will now detect only that dark gray color. So then I can put set operating system to something like Windows. You can do same thing with Mac if you're using it, except the color will be different. Android, etc. Oh, and also put the set operating system to something like undetected or something in the beginning. So if it wouldn't find any of the colors we're going to check for, it will set operating system to undetected. Now, checking for each color for every operating system is kinda hard to do. You have to own every operating system, like you have to own an iPhone or Mac, you have to own Windows PC, you have to own Android phone, and then you're gonna check for every... and it's really hard to do. So what I did is created this script that will automatically check for every emoji color in the code emoji. If you're using different emoji, that script will not work, unfortunately. So as you can see, it checks for Microsoft Windows, Apple iOS or Mac, Google Android and Chromebook, and Samsung phone specifically. I'll leave a link to the project with that script in the description below, so make sure to check it. So now if you run the project, as you can see, it would say Microsoft Windows in my case, or something else probably in your case. Or if you're using Windows, it will say the same thing. Now, it works fine, but after it done detecting the operating system, we want to hide all that stuff. So for that, we will use the broadcast message block. Let's create a new message, call it something like done, so the sensor sprite will broadcast to the emoji sprite that it has finished detecting operating system. So now let's go to the emoji sprite and drag when I receive done message, and then drag the hide block and put it there. We should also put show block in the beginning. Now go to the sensor sprite, and after the show block, put the wait some seconds block, and then replace 1 with something really small, like 0.01. That is because it needs some time to detect the operating system. So there you go, you have successfully created an OS detector. If you enjoyed this tutorial, consider leaving a like or maybe even subscribing to my channel. If you have any problems, feel free to ask for help in the comments, and I'll be sure to try to help. But other than that, thank you for watching and good luck in programming.